hopefully.
Hopefully.
So here it is.
Funny thing is, talking so much about lead playing is some players still neglect rhythm.
With good reason, I think.
Yeah.
You know, I can understand because when guitar is a pretty glamorized instrument. When you want to be a rock star when you're a little kid, you don't want to go out and play rhythms. You want to go out and play solos.
Yeah.
And I understand that, but you have to know how to play rhythms if you're going to play with other people. That's all there is to it. And if you're going to make an album, you're going to be in the studio, you got to do more rhythms than you do solos.
You have to have good timing.
Exactly. So practicing with a metronome is a great idea, or practicing with a record even. I used to do that. That was my answer to that. One of the things in rhythm playing is it's important to mute all the chords that you play.
Right.
When you got distortion and you're going through a big Marshall stack and all that stuff. You don't want to be not muting any of the chords because it's going to sound like, you know, the same thing.
A lot cleaner.
A lot cleaner.
Yeah.
So keep your palm on the strings when you're playing.
Yeah.
Not too hard, just very softly. And you can actually just mute it. As opposed to...
Yeah, there's the sloppy way and the correct way.
Right.
One of the cool kind of traits about your rhythm playing is how you vary it with lots of cool little transitional lines.
I do that a lot in my writing on purpose because I get real bored of just hitting chords. You know, a couple examples are on our new record, a song called "You Are the Saint, I Am the Sinner." The riff is, it's more like a riff than a rhythm, but it's... Okay, that's a lick that I threw in there when I was writing it. But just so it wouldn't get boring, I didn't do the same lick the second time.
Right.
The second time it goes... So that's actually a different lick than, you know?
Yeah.
Same thing in Poison Angel. When I'm doing the verse in Poison Angel. It's... Okay, I threw a lick in there. That's what I do the first time. The second time I go... So there's two of them. Or... So I just kind of spice it up and keep it different.
Any good bass player can, you know, do a unison thing with you then.
Exactly.
And something like that.
Yeah.
You know, when you're home, when you're working on, you know, new songs, you know, what kind of, you know, method do you really have for jamming on new riffs and eventually, you know, realizing that you have a song there?
That's where arranging comes in. When you're arranging a song, you just have to kind of figure out what chords go well together.
Yeah.
And ultimately what you want to do is build the song into a good chorus, you know, into a chorus that's going to really bring the listener in when he's listening to the song. So you just have to figure out what chords sound good together.
Yeah.
And that's basically what I do.
Let's talk about a couple picking patterns maybe you might have. I mean, you don't just do the same
Right.
downstrokes, upstrokes. I mean,
There isn't any set way that I do it. I really do it what feels the best. Sometimes it's 1 down, 2 up. Sometimes it's all down, and sometimes it's all up. It just depends how I'm feeling. But I can do it. It's just all kinds of ways, I guess. And I can do it all down, all up, down, up, down, up. It's like that's one way I have of doing it that I do a lot.
Right.
2 downs, 1 up.
2 down, 1 up.
2 down, 1 up is a big time thing with me.
So a kid can really just try and do different picking patterns on 1 string, 2 strings, 3.
Right. See which one works best for you.
Yeah. Now let's talk about bar chords. I mean, anyone who starts playing, the first thing they really have to do is master some bar chords.
Yeah.
But you're able to turn bar chords into cool intros to songs.
Well, there's a couple of them that I do use bar chords. I take a bar chord and I'll do the old suspended fourth with my pinky a lot. A lot of people use that. I do that in 17, for instance,
Right.
when I go. And I use the suspended fourth here and the major second. So it's a... so you can do lots of things. That's second.
Also, I've noticed that you do a lot of fragmented chords. You'll break the
That's
chord
right.
up.
I guess Hungry's a good example of that off the top of my head. I play an A chord a lot of times just like this. And the way I do it is it's an E chord. And just the first 2 notes of that all move down 1 string, like this.
Right.
And then you play the open A string. And Hungry goes like this. So how I wrote Hungry was just, I had an A chord here and, had my wild way of playing A. And I tried to figure out different chords that I could play just while I was pedaling this A. And so I took this chord and moved it down again. And there's just so many different possibilities, and I started to switch my fingers around on the G string and the D string, and I came up with lots of different chords. Pretty neat.
Yeah. I mean, talking about the notes, sometimes you can play the same note just in a different way, and it can sound, totally new. I mean, you got a new song called Loosen Up.
Oh yeah, that's a
And,
good one.
Your rhythmic work on that is really cool.
Yeah, one of the things I do on that that's different is a little hit of the high E string and the B together when I'm playing an E. I've done that on a couple songs. That song goes... kind of a funky thing, but you can use
Often
that
just like D and A.
Right.
Yeah.
You can use that B and E hit anywhere. The way you find it is, let's say you're playing an A bar chord right here. You just follow your first finger down to the B and E strings and bar them, and that's where it is in A, an octave higher. But whenever you're just getting funky, it sounds pretty
Right.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.